I'm gonna start this off. These are a couple of little like cartoon animations that I put together for a client a few years ago. They were pitching a card game that's kind of centered around like pun humor around pets. So I wanted to see if anybody could have an idea of what these are supposed to be. Yes?
That's an accordion.
Excellent. That one I thought would be the harder one to figure out.
I have a accordion.
Okay, excellent. So how about this one? It's a Rottweiler. Rot. Yes. It speaks to you in a fun way, doesn't it? Okay, so I guess just quickly a little bit of an about me. Grew up in Idaho Falls, went to high school here, went to college up at BYU, Idaho. Loved doing video stuff in high school, did little school projects for fun. When I realized that they actually offered a whole program up at school, up at college, around video production, I switched my major to communications, emphasized in video production, because I wasn't, if there was one thing that high school did teach me, it's that I was not a great student at all, and that I figured my only chance of graduating with anything at all would be to do something that I was having fun doing anyway. So I switched to video production. All the way up until graduating, I wasn't even sure if it was something that I could make a career of in this area. I assumed that it was something you'd have to move to Salt Lake or to Los Angeles in order to be in video production or in film, neither of which appealed to me because I'm a very small town person. I live in Shelley, so Salt Lake, you can keep Salt Lake. And so the thing that really held me back, or trying to word my thoughts, the hold up all the way up until my senior year graduating up at college was that, like I said, didn't know if it was something I could make a career of, so I had to have a plan B, and my plan B was sales. I did a lot of sales jobs. I learned sales psychology. That was something that was fun for me. And my last semester at college, I ended up in a class called Media Business. And that was my first look into bridging my passion for video and my interest for sales and figuring out how they could work in harmony with each other in a more full ecosystem. I followed that education further outside of college. I did a lot of online courses that were specifically geared toward using video to generate more sales for businesses. About a year after graduating, I had a chance to work full-time for doing video production for a company in Shelley. Did that for 3 years up until COVID, and from COVID is where I switched over to doing full self-employment because I was unemployed, nobody was hiring, I had nothing to do, figured I'd give it a shot, and I would do it for as long as it made sense. And it just snowballed from there, and it's become its own thing, and I'm in it for the long haul at this point. So, 3 problems that I gotta talk and breathe at the same time. 3 problems that video can solve for businesses. One is automation. When we think of automation, we think of one of the best examples I can think of is onboarding new hire training. I had a client that had a big turnover in their their employees, because their employees were school-age students, so they would work for 3 to 6 months at a time. So they spent a lot of time training these new employees, and they were using a lot of time doing that same stuff over and over. We built a course that trained the new hires for them, and it was the same quality of training. They didn't have to worry about forgetting to teach something. So their people were getting the same level of training every time, and it was with no extra time commitment on the part of the business owners. Relationships. That's a huge thing that's all that video is, in my opinion, on social media. Is the Facebook stories, the Instagram stories, the TikToks is all about building relationships with people. You have people, I'm sure, influencers maybe that you follow online, you follow their videos. You grow to a relationship with them. You grow to know, like, and trust them. You grow to become more accepting of their brand and maybe reaching out and actually doing some work with them. And generating sales is the obvious one that everybody thinks about when they think of video. They think of video advertisements and video commercials. Video serves your customer in 3 ways. And all these little gifts are little gifts taken from video projects that I have been a part of. I've been behind the camera in all of these projects other than the drone footage. I was safely on the ground for those. 3 ways that so you think about the people that you guys serve and how you would want video to communicate with your target people that you serve. You would want the video to create an attraction to you and your name and your brand. You would want it to build that know, like, and trust. The more they see you, the more they virtually interact with you, the more they begin to understand what you're about and begin to trust what you can provide for them. And then, most importantly, in my opinion, is clarity, especially for the innovative people who offer services that may not have been done before, maybe new to the area that people don't really understand, maybe hard to verbally explain it to them. Show it to them. We heard in the last presentation that a picture is worth 1,000 words. I would say that a video has 1,000 pictures in it. So you can do the math there. All right, this is going to be a little bit hard to see, but there are 2 different, video can be divided into 2 different categories. You've got content and you've got what I would call assets. Content is all about what you see online, all about what you see, on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Content is short form because we live in a world where people's attention spans are very short, so 15, 20, 30 seconds. And it's very vibrant, it's very attention-getting, it's a hook. It serves as an exposure. We know, like anyone who knows sales psychology knows that people have to be exposed to your brand anywhere from 10 to 20 times before they even start to think about it or think about if it would be a good fit for them. Video content serves as an exposure. And if you're constantly putting stuff up on your Facebook stories, on your Instagram stories, then that serves as an exposure. But then we've got, and most people ask me if I can produce this kind of stuff, and I can, and I enjoy doing it, but I feel like my time, my skill set, and your resources and your money would be best spent in the other category, which is assets. Assets are videos that are built with a purpose. They're built to move and guide your potential customers along a path that ultimately leads to a point of sale. They're typically hosted on your website, like a homepage and about me. It's essentially for inbound marketing. All the Facebook content, all the Instagram content that drives people to your website. When they get to your website, what are they going to find? A lot of people's websites, it's a bunch of text. They're about me, their services. Here's how you can reach out to us. But it's all text. If we can replace that text with more engaging video content, showing people what you're about, showing people what services you offer, and showing people how you can reach out to us, then it creates much more engagement, much higher conversion to your sales. And because they serve that purpose, they're more timeless, they're going to last longer, they have a much longer shelf life, so they're more valuable. They're going to turn over more of a return on your investment. The 4 best types, what are we doing on time? Minute? 40? 4 best types of videos for video businesses. Process video, I explained that a little bit, showing people a behind the scenes look at what you're building, what kind of products you're building for them, or what kind of services. This is how we do this service for you, so they can get a better feel for what you're about, so that they can trust to take that step toward you. Video chronicle, that's a whole big explanation, but it's essentially a testimonial video on steroids. It's the best way to put it, but I can go into more detail if anyone's curious about that. Recruiting video, a lot of people have problems with recruiting new hires. We can build videos that that are pointed toward new hires, talking about how awesome it is to work at your company. And my favorite is the video business card. I can do a whole presentation just on the importance of the video business card. I'm sure that many of you have seen my video business card because I've put it on our WOW group. I can repost it if anybody's interested in seeing that. And I'll end it with this little fun thing that I put together. It's a little robot dancing with a little girl on a church gym floor. The message that I want this to convey is that it was probably 2009. I was in a sales job. We had people coming in to teach us better sales skills, better memorization skills. And he asked, how many of us have ever lost our car keys? How many of us have ever lost our car keys here? He shared with us the trick to remembering always where you left your car keys is when you set your car keys down, to take just a second to look at them and imagine in your head something crazy like they melted into the wood. Or maybe they grew spider legs and started just dancing around right there. Something really out of the ordinary, something that conflicts with your perception of reality. It's because, and I wish I could remember, it's been since 2009 since I learned this, so I don't remember the exact figure, but a certain percentage, a certain partition of your brain is reserved for ideas that don't make logical sense. So much of your brain is built to hold like your day-to-day mundane things. So much is packed in there that it's easy to forget things in that section of your brain. It's a very small area, a very small partition that's reserved for things that don't make sense. We can build stuff like that on video. I would be willing to bet that nobody here has seen a robot dancing with a little girl on a church gym floor. And if you remember anything about this presentation, this is probably what you're going to remember because it makes no sense. This is the kind of stuff that we can include in video. This is the kind of stuff that we could include as just a little piece of sugar, piece of accent to a video that's associated with your name and brand so that people remember you. This is the kind of stuff I love to do. My name's Tyson. I'm with NewLine Media.